respects this.
Relaxing in a beautiful hotel in Paris with the cutest French boy smiling
Cutest French boy, how fascinating!
at you from across the pool is just perfectly splendid in every way. My personal assistant / best friend Lexi.
Is he even allowed to have a personal assistant? Wait, what does she say?
Perfectly splendid in every way. My personal assistant / best friend Lexi.
Personal assistant / best friend. Is that even illegal?
Rushed towards me while holding a letter. She read it out loud. Fancy a date on my yacht tonight? Meet me at 7 on the harbor.
Fancy yacht days on 7. Meet me at Fancy Harbor.
The boy across the pool winked at me. That
She must be deeply in love with him.
night, I learned that his name was Pierre, and he treated me like a princess. But our splendid date was interrupted by a panicked call from Lexi.
That face doesn't look like a panic call
Your
at all.
dad's secretary called, and he's just sent the jet for us to leave right now. Ugh, he must have been mad because I'd been absent from school for a week now. I so didn't need school. I
Rude.
said my goodbyes to Pierre, who said he wanted to see me again. But I just smiled and left. Oh, hey there. My name is Blair.
Wait. Hi, Blair. Wait. Blair, hi. Blair looks exactly like Monica. Like, look at it. Monica. Blair. Monica. Blair.
And I have an almost perfect life. I'm as smart as Einstein himself.
Einstein knows. That's unlikely.
There's only one little problem. I'm dyslexic. But it's no big deal because I have Lexi to read everything for me. I used to be number 1 in literally everything. But things took a wild turn when a foreign exchange student joined our class. Please hit that subscribe button before I tell you my whole story. The next day, my limo dropped Lexi and me off at our school, a very expensive private one, where only families with a net worth of at least $1 billion can
$1 billion? Who has that much?
attend. Blair, watch out! I screamed when I saw an angry dog charging
What is she doing? Like, no!
towards me. What was it doing here? Pets aren't allowed. Francesca, my arch nemesis, picked it up while laughing at me. Good boy, she whispered, but I heard it.
Doesn't sound like
This
she's whispering. Like, it'd be like, good boy, like, good boy.
insecure brat always found a way to ruin my day.
Teehee.
Oh, hey, Blair. I'm giving out our newest luxury product, this $1 million perfume, for free. I thought you might need one. Thanks, Francesca, but I'd rather donate it to charity. The principal appeared and got angry when she saw her dog. Our dog mansion with 10 floors is
10?
currently being renovated.
10 floors for dog renovation.
Her dog.
'Cause,
Our
like,
dog
my
mansion
dog
with 10
has 10
floors
floors,
is currently being
and
renovated.
It needs to be renovated right now, so.
So my baby needs to roll with me. Ugh, what a show off. The principal shut her. So my baby needs to roll with me. Ugh, what a show off. The principal shut her
holy
mouth when
perfume.
Francesca gave her a stupid perfume, too. In the middle of class, I suddenly forgot how to breathe when the most gorgeous boy that I'd ever
Next episode of My Story Animated, I'll do a story about this guy called Terrence.
seen walked in. Everyone, I would like you all to meet Terrence, a foreign exchange student from Korea, and he will be with us for this school year. We were all speechless as we looked at him. Francesca immediately offered her seat, but Terrence just
Very hot indeed.
headed quietly to the back.
Bulldog teeth.
Our math teacher then started the discussion and suddenly asked us to solve the area of a stadium on our tables. Such a no-brainer. The answer is, it's 69,963 square meters. We all turned to Terrence like we'd seen a ghost. He'd answered before me. Like, how? After class, all the girls flocked around him, including Lexi. I tried to smile at him too, but he didn't smile back.
Ditcher.
What a snob. I snatched Lexi away from him and told her to cut it out. Do that again and I'll fire you. Oh, come on, Blair. He's literally perfect. He's like Lee Min-ho. He's not my type. Terrence might have heard that because he turned to me, but so what? He snubbed me, and first impressions last. Every year, our principal holds an auction party, and this year, all the proceeds would be going to poor children in Africa. The last item to be auctioned was a beautiful pearl with a special history. It cost around $50 million. As expected, Francesca and I started the bidding battle. $100 million, $200 million, $500 million. $1 billion. Then the principal asked if anyone wanted to go any higher. Lexi leaned closer to me and tried to stop me, but I couldn't let Francesca win.
Hell no, let me at him.
$2 billion. $10 billion. Silence filled the room when a male voice joined in and said, $100 billion. Everyone turned to the back. It was Terrence again. He really was something else. The principal declared, "Wow, that's a new record. Sold!" My eyebrows shot up when I saw Francesca offering him a
flirty face
handshake in a flirty way. Lexi said, "I think you two look better together." Ew, stop that.
Yep, nothing wrong with Lexi, just a Patrick face.
That Lexi. He's a snob and only loves his phone. During our finals week, as usual, I took a special...
Wait! Patrick, what's going on?
Oral exam because of my reading condition. When the results came back the next day, the blood drained from my face when I didn't see my name at the top spot. It was Terrence. He hadn't even been in our school a full year. Then Francesca appeared from nowhere and said, "Just accept the fact that you're a loser now, Blair." I asked Lexi to do some research on Terrence. I needed to know what was up with him. He seemed like the love child of Einstein and Bill Gates. One day, while I was rushing to the toilet, I bumped into him and tripped over. Jeez. His chest was as hard as a tree. I looked up at him and met his cold, brown eyes. I was expecting him to offer his hand, but the jerk skipped past me like I was trash on the floor. I'd never felt so humiliated. It was the first time a guy had ignored me. Lexi came to the rescue and helped me to my feet. He helped me when I tripped out of my helicopter yesterday. Sorry, girl, but you're not his type. Francesca's comment made me furious. Thank God Lexi calmed me down, or else. During lunch, Lexi told me that she'd finally finished her research on Terrence. He was a young CEO in Korea, and his company develops games and software. That's why he's always on his phone. So, he's a self-made billionaire. Interesting. I was on my way to our campus's art center one time, and I stopped when I saw a board ahead. It had some words on it. Francesca and her friends were right behind me, but I didn't want to ask her for help, so I tried to read it myself. It seemed to be saying something about a vacation.
Warning feet on vacation.
I ignored the sign and continued walking. Suddenly, the ground under me collapsed.
We're not having Chumzilla to eat.
Someone caught me right on time before I was buried alive. I looked up to see my savior. It was Terrence. He let me go and dusted his uniform off. Don't you know how to read? It says deep excavation ahead. I have dyslexia. Anyway, thanks for saving my life. Just be careful next time. My heartbeat was still going fast as I watched him walk away. A few days later, the principal announced the annual competition between private schools, called the Battle of the Brains. I was so ecstatic when I was picked again to represent our school. I always aced it. The problem was, the competition would be all about teamwork, so I needed a partner. And Terrence was picked. Lexi came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I ship you both. This is going to be fun." I ignored Lexi's stupid comment and told Terrence to meet me in the music room. We needed to talk about the competition. While I was waiting for him, I started playing the piano. I couldn't finish the song because I forgot the keys. Just in time, he arrived and continued for me. We were so close to each other and it felt really weird. I was about to move, but the way he played was hypnotizing. I flinched when I felt a spark as our fingers touched. He looked down at me after he finished playing. "That's how you do it. I don't need piano lessons right now. We need to plan a strategy. Just focus on the spelling. Memorize the letters of the longest words, and we'll be fine. Don't underestimate me, Terrence. How about you? Are you going to study?" The dummy answered me with a poker face and left the room. Sometimes I really hated his guts in his gorgeous face. And seriously, he was so confusing. The competition day finally came and we were totally silent during the ride. He later fell asleep on my shoulder. shoulder and I
Me when I'm scared.
went stiff as a board. Should I move my shoulder or should I let him sleep in peace? The limo passed over a rough road, which woke him up. He looked up at me and I immediately looked away. Can you, scoot over? You're in my personal space. My heartbeat went back to normal when he moved. I was so nervous during the game, but as expected, we made it to the final round. Terrence won the versus round against another boy, and then it was my turn. I needed to win this so we would be the winners already. I was shocked when the announcer said that it was a spelling round. Oh no. Oh, spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Wait, what?
Oh
Wait,
no.
what is it?
Spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. What?
Terrence gave me an encouraging look. I focused and wrote down all the letters according to my memory. I felt like passing out from nervousness when I slowly raised my answer. Correct. I jumped around in happiness and found myself hugging Terrence. When I realized what I was doing, I immediately pulled away. He then patted my head and smiled at me for the first time. And I must admit, he looked even more gorgeous. You did great. Well, thanks for your advice. Lexi showed up to congratulate us. Oh my gosh, you guys were so good. You two should get married already. Ugh, Lexi and her random fangirling. Terrence smiled at me in the hallway the next day, and it made me feel something in my stomach. What a miracle that he wasn't wearing his headphones and holding his phone in front of his face. Suddenly, the girls started screaming. I went to see what was happening and was shocked to see Pierre in our school uniform. He was showing everyone my pictures that he took on his phone.
Suing for harassment for not getting permission.
Oh, finally. There's my girl. Pierre immediately.
Oh, fun me when I burst into my favorites, into my honey bun. Ugh, there's my girl. Friend's tone.
Immediately walked up to me and kissed me on the cheek. What are you doing here? I told you. I wanted to see you again.
What's the type of hip movement? What does he do?
Kissed me on the cheek. What are you doing here? I told you. I want
savage hip movement.
around and it bothered me. I wanted to turn him down, but I felt bad for breaking a nice guy's heart. Mademoiselle, come. I have a surprise for you. I told Pierre that I still had a class, but he grabbed my arm and was about to pull me outside when someone grabbed my other arm. It was Terrence. Come on, we're running late already. Everyone stopped in their tracks to watch. Terrence and Pierre were glaring at each other, and there I was, looking like a statue between them. Neither of them wanted to let me go, and it was so awkward. I caught Lexi's eye and gave her the signal to help me. She acted like she sprained her ankle and purposefully fell on Pierre. Lexi then winked at me as Pierre turned to help her.
Enough of this Patrick face!
She was the best. I didn't know how to get rid of Pierre over the next few days. Terrence started avoiding me too. Once, when I went into class, Pierre winked at me and told me to come and sit next to him. I said, Pierre, I just want to be clear that you're not my boyfriend. Yet. That
What do you mean?
night, Francesca threw a party on her own private island and invited everyone. I didn't want to go, but Pierre was so persistent. During the party, he was telling me about his plan to buy a resort in Paris. He was talking non-stop while all I could think about was Terrence. I wished he was here. I signaled Lexi to start our plan. I excused myself to the restroom as she came over and I let her entertain Pierre. I sneaked out and found myself in a beautiful garden. While I was smelling some flowers, I suddenly felt someone's presence beside me. I turned to see Terrence. You're here. I didn't think you'd come. Francesca came over to my place yesterday and invited me. What? I wanted to ask him what else she did at his place, but I chickened out. He was looking up at the sky and suddenly a snowflake dropped on his forehead and he slowly closed his eyes. It was a beautiful moment and I just
Sorry in the moment, but this is disgusting.
found myself staring. It's the first snow of the year. Oh, is it? He seemed to be so happy about it, and I wondered why. Where's your boyfriend? He's not my boyfriend. I just met him in Paris last time I was there. I'm relieved. What do you mean? The snow continued falling over us. He stepped closer and suddenly kissed me on the forehead. I like you, Blair. I wasn't expecting that. My heartbeat was so loud I was shaking. Moments later, I finally gave in to my attraction. I think I like you too. Let's get out of here. I told him that only my dad had access to our helicopter, but he just gave me a smug smile and said, "That's not a problem." Did he plan ahead or what? The helicopter flew us to a beautiful place, and while we were enjoying the marvelous view beneath us, I felt his hand holding mine. It gave me an electric feeling. I'd never felt this way before. After our helicopter date, he brought me to this Korean restaurant and made me taste their delicious specialties. We fought over the bill and he won and paid for it. I then gave the waiter a tip, a key to a car. That's
bleeding like...
Gave the waiter a tip, a key to a car. That's very generous of you, but I prefer giving tips like this. He gave the waiter a business card and told him that his secretary would assist him in enrolling in the school of his choice. Education is more important, Blair. Oh, he was wiser than I thought. It was almost midnight when we strolled in the park. When I complained about my high heels hurting my feet, he gave me a piggyback ride. This man had never failed to surprise me. We were inseparable over the next few weeks, while Lexi always ended up
Patrick face again.
distracting Pierre. One day, Terrence was teaching me Korean when Lexi kept calling me. I was enjoying our session, so I ignored her calls. Later that day, I was on my way to my locker when I saw Francesca's dog again. It started chasing me and I ran into the nearest room. While I was catching my breath, I was surprised to see Pierre in there too. "Bonjour, mademoiselle. Miss me?" Before I could react, he suddenly kissed me.
No, thank you.
I was so shocked that I couldn't move. I slapped him and walked out to look for Lexi. I was so shocked that I couldn't move. I slapped him and walked out to look for Lexi, but I couldn't find her anywhere. She wasn't answering my calls either. Where was she when I needed her? The next day, everyone was looking at me like I'd done something terrible, which I apparently did because an anonymous account had posted a picture of me kissing Pierre on Instagram. No, it was all a mistake. I asked Lexi about it, but she was so mad at me. What did I do? That pervert made a move on me. You weren't there when I needed you because you only care about Terrence now. Lexi, I'm so sorry. Please don't do this to me. You're my best friend. No, Blair, I'm just your personal assistant. Oh, not anymore, because I'm resigning. I was crying as she left me. I looked for Terrence and found him in the music room. Terrence, it's not what you think. Let me explain. I don't deal with cheaters. I tried to convince him, but my heart broke when he said, "Get lost, Blair. I don't want to see you again." I was totally miserable after that. My best friend and boyfriend were ignoring me, and everyone was calling me a cheater. One day, I passed out in my room because I hadn't eaten all day. When I opened my eyes, the first thing I saw was Lexi. Thank God you finally woke up. You had me so worried. Are you okay? How can I be okay when you hate me now? Oh my God, stop. I'm not used to seeing you cry. Lexi then told me that she overheard Francesca and Pierre talking about their plan to set me up. I knew it. I need to talk to Terrence. She then looked away and said, "He went back to Korea this morning." What? Are you freaking serious? I felt like someone had thrown cold water on me. She just bowed her head and avoided my eyes. Why so soon? Is this a prank? I'm so sorry, Blair. I already told him the truth and he believed me, but he still left. No, this can't be happening. I tried to get up, but Lexi told me that my doctor had advised that I shouldn't leave bed yet. I called Terrence, but his phone wasn't on. I checked his social media accounts and confirmed that he was already back in Korea. I just wanted to sleep and hope that it was all a dream. The next day, I woke up to Lexi's scream. She pulled me out of bed and dragged me outside. There was an unfamiliar jet landing outside. A handsome boy then stepped out, and I swear, my heart jumped with joy when I realized who it was. I ran up to him and hugged him. He apologized for doubting me and for not telling me about him leaving. I just needed to finish my surprise for you. He then showed me an app on his phone. You can download this from the App Store. I've specially developed this for dyslexics. Oh my God, this is amazing. I love you, Terrence. I love you more, my Blair. I was so over the moon when he finally kissed me. Another cute Korean guy came out and Lexi looked like she just peed her pants. Terrence introduced him as Andrew, his brother, and Lexi started jumping in excitement. Thank God you have a brother. Terrence and I just laughed as we held each other's hands.
Wow. Beautiful. Let's see if we can do one more. Let's do My Schoolboy Treats Me Like a Princess.
Wash the cat. Treat yourself with Menulog.
Wait, Mom, before you check out, do you have Honey installed?
What's Honey?
Oh, no. It's a free browser add-on anytime you check out on...
Let's see how this goes.
Did you know you have the superpower to change the character of a person? If you want to know how, you have to like and subscribe to this video, because My Story Animated will give... If you want to know how, you have to like and subscribe to this video, because My Story Animated will give $1,000 to one lucky person who subscribes in the next 7 days. Tell your friends, your sister, brother, and mom to subscribe now. Hi, I'm Annie. When I started basic school, I hardly ever talked to anyone. I was so shy and quiet that some of my classmates thought I was a dummy. My kindergarten teacher even told my parents to take me to a doctor and find out what was wrong with me. But
You go to doctor and find some respect, lady.
Dad completely lost his temper with her. Are you dumb? She is too beautiful for
Sir, do not talk to that. Do not
there
talk
to be
me.
anything wrong with her. Why don't you save your advice for some other real dumb kid? But no matter what, my shyness just didn't go away. I didn't talk much to my classmates, and they thought I was a snob. As if. Once when I was in the first grade, some of my classmates asked me to share my candy with them, but I just stared back at them and didn't reply. Who do you think you are, you dumb girl? I said give us candy. I didn't say a word and started walking away. They got angry.
You never give you silent treatment.
And circled me. Suddenly I opened my mouth and let out an ear-splitting scream. They were so shocked to actually hear my voice that they just stood there stupidly, and I managed to escape. But at home I was a completely different person. I was super chatty and an awesome storyteller. In fact, sometimes my parents begged me to stop talking because I was giving them headaches. Once I kept them awake all night telling them a story I had in my mind about some princess.
When I have children like this, I hope they do not do the same thing to me.
And because I didn't know how to write well, they spent all night writing it for me. It ended up about 90 pages long.
That's 93 pages!
I will do this every night, sweetheart. I can't believe I have such a beautiful daughter in my life. Dad just worshipped me because I was pretty. Mom was different and loved me no matter what. I was still too shy to talk outside my home, but people never stopped trying to become friends with me. And I know why now. It's only because they thought I was cute. But I had to admit, I kind of liked it. When I was in the 3rd grade, one boy threw a piece of paper at me that said, "Your smile makes me happy, but your words make me happier. Can I hear them?" I blushed, and from that moment, I tried to talk more. So I made new friends and also started taking part in different school activities, but still without talking much. When I was in the 8th grade, my parents helped me publish my first short novel.
Wow.
But it was a failure and people didn't like it. I got sad. Dad didn't take it well and sued the publishers, saying it was their fault. But of course, he lost the case, and I decided to take a break from writing. Until one morning, when our class teacher walked into the classroom with a tall, athletic boy. It really looked like the boy wasn't too happy to join us. "Everyone, welcome your new classmate, Peter." Peter had a deep frown and a stupid smile at the same time. He had this funny
Just put a smile on that face.
Grinch face. The teacher told Peter to take a seat right next to me, and I gave him a friendly smile. "That's the ugliest smile I've ever seen. Have you
And that's the ugliest person I've ever heard from.
heard of toothpaste? I can buy it for you if you don't have money. You
And I can buy some manners if you need some.
can pay me back, maybe with a kiss." Oh, wow. I was
Maybe with a slap on the face.
about to respond when the teacher started the lesson. It was a French lesson, and he looked completely blank. "Hey, do you need any help?" "From you? You don't look very smart, and I don't need help from a girl when I can use Google Translate on my phone, so buzz off." What a jerk. The next day when the teacher returned the assignments, Peter looked really angry to see a big F on his. What kind of dumb school is this? How can Google be wrong? I took a look at his paper and burst out laughing. "That's not even French, you idiot. You translated the whole thing to Spanish." He crumpled up his assignment into a ball and threw it at my face, but I couldn't stop laughing. Boy, how could someone be this stupid? I figured out soon enough that Peter wasn't interested in learning or making friends. Eventually, the whole school realized that Peter was just interested in bullying others. Sometimes he would snatch students' lunch and threaten to beat them if they reported him. I was one of those unlucky students. But after the third time he did it, I reported him to the principal and he was put in detention. When Peter returned from detention, he looked straight into my eyes.
I am being possessed now.
You are going to pay for this. Well, you should know your limits. If you ever try to bother me again, I swear you will regret it, and I might even tell Dad. Aw, Daddy's daughter, look at me. I'm so scared. Oh, Mommy, hug me. Once he tried to knock my books out of my hands when suddenly a bunch of boys behind him came and said, Dude, why are you being like this with a pretty girl like her? Wait, what? So if I wasn't pretty, that would be okay? Well, pretty girls deserve special treatment, you know? So now we're all here to stop him. He can't annoy pretty girls. Well, thanks for your caring, but girls can defend themselves. And I pushed through them and left. Told you guys, girls are crazy, especially the pretty ones. Now get lost, all of you, or else. This Peter did whatever he wanted. It seemed he wasn't afraid of anyone, not even the principal. I really hated him. One rainy day, Peter came to school completely drenched, and it seemed like he'd fallen sick. He was shivering nonstop, and the principal said he'd call his parents to take him home. But to everyone's surprise, Peter screamed, No, I'm fine. I don't want to go home. Please
No, I don't want to go home. It's a tragedy there.
let me stay. You have to go home and rest. No, I don't. I could run a marathon right now. Just some water and I'll be good to go. With that, he picked up the glass with his trembling hands and suddenly dropped it all over my assignment. Later at recess, I found him huddled on the bleachers and he was hugging a worn-out teddy bear. Dude, is that a stuffed toy? Don't insult Mr. Smith. Oh, he has a name? Is he like your little baby? Is he adopted or did you give birth to him? Shut up! Can't you leave me alone?
You give birth to it.
You're sick and you need to go home. You look much prettier when you're quiet. Now stop acting like you care. Ugh, why do you have to be like this? I'm trying to be nice. Who asked you? Mind your own business. As soon as he was fine, he went right back to being the jerk he always was. I started writing about him in
Peter the evil, greedy, and hated everyone in his kingdom.
my notebook. Peter was such an interesting person for a villain. I couldn't believe that having someone as horrible as him in my life was actually making me want to get back to writing. One day when I was leaving the cafeteria, Peter blocked my way and demanded that I give him my lunch. We're not in kindergarten, idiot, and I ate it. And I'm not afraid of you. Now shoo. As I walked past him, he suddenly pulled at my bag and everything spilled out. A couple of boys immediately ran over to help me and I gathered my stuff and left angrily. What an immature jerk. When I went home, I found out that my notebook was missing. I rushed straight to the locker the next morning and was going through all my stuff frantically when I heard Peter behind me. Looking for this? Give that back, you jerk! He threw it at me, giving me that stupid smile of his. Got what I needed. And with that, he walked away. I had no idea
Got what I needed.
what he was up to, but I found out soon enough. Later that day, the whole school was gathered in the gym for a lecture on fire safety. As we stood waiting around for it to start, suddenly Peter jumped onto the stage and tapped the mic for everyone's.
They say we live in the lucky country, but our nature is being put to the test. We need
everyone's attention. While we are all gathered here to talk about our safety in school, I just want to say I don't feel safe at all. How can I when I have a stalker right here? Oh, no. Just then the large screen behind him flickered and images from my notebook showed up. As the sketches and the things I'd written about him flashed on the screen, I wanted to disappear. And it's none other than the girl everyone adores, Annie. She's obsessed with me. Guess just because you're pretty on the outside doesn't mean you can't be a total creep inside. So everyone be careful. You might wake up someday to find yourself a villain in her novel. She's cuckoo. As
Your mouth is cuckoo.
everyone's eyes turned to me, I could feel panic rise in my chest. But it's okay, sweetie. I can still be your boyfriend. Want to hang out sometime? As I ran out of the gym, I turned around and said, You're bad. I hate you. As I walked into the school the next day, my legs were trembling. I just stared down at my feet as I entered the classroom. The lesson started, and when the teacher asked me to read my essay out loud, I just looked down and shook my head. Just as everyone was leaving for the cafeteria, Peter hung back. Hey, Annie, are you okay? If this is about the gym thing, Everyone knows it was just a harmless joke. I just stared at him silently with angry tears, and I threw my lunch at his face and walked out of the school. This time he didn't respond and looked a bit guilty. Peter didn't come to school the next few days. I don't know why, but I actually felt worried. One day he finally showed up. Hey, I still don't like you, but I made sure to make notes for you when you came back. And no, girls aren't dumb. We can be emotional sometimes, and that's something we're proud of. Just then, to my shock, Peter broke down and started to cry. Annie, I'm really sorry. I don't know why I'm this way. I just act out because of things going on in my own life. Then he told me about his family, how his mother had passed away when he was 6 and he was left all by himself with his stepdad. He's mean and stupid and doesn't even take care of me. And one day when I'm old enough, I'm going to punch him in the face. I finally saw why Peter was like that. He was just a frustrated kid who needed help. Next day during lunch, Peter jumped on one of the tables and announced something. Everyone got quiet and listened to him. Hey everyone, I'm just here to apologize for everything I did to all of you. I still think some of you are weird and I don't like most of you, but that didn't give me the right to treat anyone like that. So, as they say in French, lo siento. Dude, that's Spanish. Just get down. Everyone burst into laughter and Peter gave me a hug. Thank you for lighting up my life. I promise I will become a better person. No, not really. Only under one condition. Make me the irresistible, handsome, great hero in your novel. Helping Peter become a better person is my greatest achievement. Now he is a medical doctor with a beautiful wife, and he named his child Annie after me. And me, I'm a writer now.
That is beautiful. Let's see. I think we can do one more, guys.
Still using a default browser that looks so boring? Switch to Opera GX, the first browser built for gamers. Match your setup colors with...
Hi, my name is Mary. Please like and subscribe. I never knew my parents, but I grew up with my cranky old grandma who didn't even send me to school. So when I was 8 and she left me at an orphanage, I was ecstatic. As I joined the other kids at dinner and introduced myself, they all stared at me. And then a girl started laughing. Look at that mop on your head. Maybe the warden can use your hair to clean the floors. How about I try first? As she came towards me, a tall girl suddenly stepped in. Get away from her, or I'll knock your teeth out. Ooh, Mommy, I feel so scared. Not. And with that, the bully pushed me to the ground. The tall girl attacked her, and they were both fighting when someone shouted that the warden was coming, and everyone ran. The girl helped me up, but I sprained my ankle. Lean on me, okay? I got you. Her name was Gianna, and we became best friends. But everything else about that place sucked. The only good thing in my life was Gianna. When we were 13, we started talking one night about how much we'd like to leave this place, and we made a plan to escape. But just when we'd reached the back door, the warden caught us. We weren't allowed to leave our room for 2 weeks. But I was determined to try once more. What if the warden catches us again? Let's forget about it, Mary. Maybe we're better off here anyway. What if it's terrible out there? But what if it's not? What if it's amazing? And as long as we're together, it'll be fine. A few weeks later, we set a spot where we would meet and run off. But I kept waiting, and she didn't show up. Just then, I heard some footsteps, and it was the frickin' warden. And I ran. I didn't stop running till I'd left the orphanage far behind. But I was devastated to leave without Gianna. I vowed I'd be back for her soon. It was exciting to be out. But as it got dark, I started feeling scared. Just then, 2 homeless boys came out of a dark alley and grinned at me. You lost, little girl? You can share our garbage dump. I panicked and ran off. As I turned a corner, I crashed straight into someone. I looked up to see a kind-looking lady who asked me why I was all alone. When I told her everything, she offered to take me to her place, and I felt I could trust her. A blonde girl my age opened the door. Her name was Zoe, and she looked really happy to hear that I'd be staying with them. Ooh, a sleepover! I love slumber parties! Yeah, me too. I had no idea what she was talking about. The next few days were some of the best ever. The lady got me clothes and gave me my own room. Zoe and I got along really well, and we watched tons of videos on this awesome channel MSA that she introduced me to. One night, we were out for dinner, and I was so excited to see the huge spread. I piled my plate high with food and started gobbling it up when some kids started laughing at me. Look at her eating like a horse. Haven't you seen food before, weirdo? Oh, I guess some nice people brought this homeless girl here for food. Look how skinny she is, and her wild hair. Before I could reply, Zoe had returned to our table, and she smacked her plate in the kid's face. Mind your own business, you limp noodle. I loved the way Zoe stood up for me. She reminded me so much of Gianna. I soon discovered that Zoe's mom owned a beauty salon. One day, she gave me a makeover, and I was shocked at the results. She even managed to tame my crazy hair. Whoa, are you some kind of magician? Oh, I didn't have to do much. You're a beautiful girl, Mary. And it felt amazing to hear that. And a week later, I was officially adopted by them. I had a real family. Soon after, Zoe's mom got me enrolled into the same school as hers. One day when we came back, I was shocked to see so many guests at our place. Mom had organized a surprise party to welcome me into the family.
Whoa.
She introduced me to everyone, and they were all so nice, except for this one nasty relative. Do you even make enough from your awful makeup business to take care of another child? Oh God, I can't forget the horrible makeup you did on me once. That made me mad. Well, sometimes all the makeup in the world can't fix some faces. Mom and Zoe laughed out
Get roasted!
loud while the lady turned red and stormed off. I wasn't letting anyone be a jerk to my family. The only thing that was bothering me now was thinking of Gianna at the orphanage. Mom said she'd help find a home for her too, and we went to see her. But I was shocked when the warden told us she'd been adopted. She wouldn't tell us where Gianna had gone, but in my heart, I was satisfied. She had a family like me. Life was good, and over time, I picked up Mom's love of makeup, and she taught me everything she knew. When I was in 10th grade,
This story is beautiful.
Mom took me to a shoot once, and the model I worked on absolutely loved her look. The next day, Zoe woke me up excitedly and showed me my Insta account. I had thousands of followers, thanks to that
Whoa.
model who had tagged me in her picture. I started attracting tons of clients to Mom's salon. Then one day at school, I saw a familiar face in the corridor, and my heart skipped a beat. Oh my God, it was Gianna! I ran to her and she screamed in delight as the two of us hugged and jumped around. I feel like I'm dreaming. I thought I'd never see you again, Gianna.
It's amazing when friends get to see each other again.
I can't believe it myself. I'm so happy to see you, and you look amazing. Gianna and I had so much catching up to do. We were in the cafeteria when Zoe came and sat next to me and started eating my food, and Gianna snatched the tray away from her. Hey, what are you doing, weirdo? Get your own lunch. Excuse me? Who are you and what's your problem? Whoa, guys, calm down. This is my friend Gianna. I've told you about her, remember? And this is my sister Zoe. Sister? Yeah, her favorite sister in the whole wide world. And also her current best friend. So get in line, Gianna. The two were smiling, but I could sense the tension. And now the three of us were hanging out together all the time, but I just knew they didn't like each other.
I keep on fighting over a friend as well. I always wanted to know what it feels like when two people are fighting over me as a best friend.
Zoe and I were both in the football club, and a few days later when we had a training session, I was surprised and happy to see Gianna was there too. But Zoe clenched her teeth and ran out to the field. We had such an intense training session, and Zoe and Gianna were being so aggressive. Suddenly, Zoe was racing towards the goalpost with the ball when Gianna tried to take it from her, and Zoe crashed to the ground. That's a foul. This cheater pushed me. No, I didn't. You just slipped. Don't be such a crybaby. They were about to attack each other when the coach stopped them and told everyone to take a break. As we rested in the locker room, we suddenly heard screams from the bathroom next door. We went running to see Zoe standing there and Gianna on the floor. Mary, stop your crazy sister. She pulled my hair and flung me against the wall. What? I barely touched you. Zoe, are you insane? It's just stupid football. Just then the coach walked in, and when she saw everything, she suspended Zoe from the club for a month. Zoe stormed off in tears while I helped Gianna up. What had gotten into her? I decided not to tell Mom anything yet and went to Zoe's room to talk. And she was furious with me. How could you take her side, Mary? Zoe, she was hurt and lying on the floor. What did you expect me to do? She came into the bathroom and kept mocking me, and I only pushed her aside to get out of my way. I never pushed her that hard or pulled her hair. She's lying. Why would she do that? Because she's a psycho. But if you want to believe her, go ahead. She pushed me out and slammed the door shut. I didn't know what to believe. I thought I'd
Tell me in the link in the description, who do you believe? Tina or Zoe?
talk to Gianna the next day, but I found her limping on crutches. She said she'd sprained her ankle during the fall, but Zoe said she barely pushed you. So, you think I'm faking all this?
This is so hard.
Why would I do that, Mary? Zoe attacked me.
Haven't played Crossout before? Now is the time. Crossout is a free action-packed game where you craft, ride,
Your life, and you know it. I did know Zoe was unhappy since Gianna had arrived. Later that day, when Zoe saw me and Gianna sitting in the cafeteria, she turned away furiously and went to sit at the farthest corner. This was a nightmare. A few days later, our English teacher, Miss Amy, was getting married, and she'd invited all her students. She'd even hired me as her makeup artist, and Gianna came along to help. Just when I was done with her makeup, I finished it off with a setting spray, and Miss Amy started screaming. Oh my God, my eyes, they're burning. And my skin, what have you done, Mary? I stood there in shock as Miss Amy ran off to wash her face. I use this spray every day. I was about to test it on my skin when Gianna stopped me. Hey, don't. Didn't you see what just happened? Give it here. And with that, she opened the bottle and sniffed it. Mary, this is frickin' pepper spray. What? How could that possibly get mixed up with my makeup? Just then, Zoe and some kids walked in, asking why Miss Amy had gone screaming to the bathroom. Oh, I think we have our answer, Mary. There's only one person who could have switched this out for pepper spray. Zoe, are you frickin' mental? Mary, don't listen to her. If anyone would do something that crazy, it's Gianna. And how would I do that? You live with her. You had every chance to mess with her makeup. I've just had it with you. And with that, Zoe pounced on
This is so intense.
Gianna. As the two wrestled, they didn't even notice when Miss Amy walked back in and went crashing straight into her. Get out, all of you. And you, Mary. I'll never forgive you for ruining my wedding day. We were all thrown out, and before I knew it, Miss Amy had posted pictures with her swollen red eyes and face on Instagram. She tagged me and Mom's salon, telling people never to get makeup done from us. People were resharing her pictures like crazy. I couldn't bear to see anyone and shut myself up in my room. I couldn't believe someone would hurt me. It was either my sister or my best friend. I had been appointed as the football team captain recently, and the next day, when all the players were gathered, I made an announcement. I feel that I cannot lead a team where all the members can't play well together, so I've made a decision to let one player go, and that is Zoe. Zoe stared at me in shock, and then she pounced on me. Seriously? You pathetic jerk. I welcomed you into my home. I made you my sister, and this is what I get? I hate you, and I'll never forgive you. I wish we could throw you back in that orphanage. As some kids pulled her away, she stormed off furiously, and I ran off to the bathroom. Gianna came running after me. Wow, Mary, I can't believe you actually chose me over your stupid sister. Now, you've lost her, and that makes me really happy. What? What do you mean? I mean, I want you to suffer, just like you made me suffer when you left me.
It was Gianna.
At the orphanage. That night, when we were running away, I didn't come to the meeting spot thinking you wouldn't go without me. But you did. You just abandoned me. You didn't come on purpose? I thought the warden had caught you. And I didn't abandon you, Gianna. I came to the orphanage again looking for you. I don't believe you. You just left me and got yourself a sister. You replaced me. Yes, I did fake being hurt in the bathroom, and I did mess with your makeup, so you could hate her. And now, she hates you. Oh no, I don't. I heard everything and recorded it too. Zoe stepped in just then, and I turned to a shocked Gianna. You see, I wasn't sure about the bathroom incident, but after the makeup thing, I decided it had to be you. Zoe would never do something to hurt me or Mom's business. We faked the fight outside, hoping you'd be really happy and admit something. Why are you like this now? What happened to you, Gianna? Gianna snarled and leapt at me, but Zoe pushed her off and we locked her in the bathroom. We told the principal everything, who then called in her adoptive mother. And we found out from her that Gianna had been in therapy before for a personality disorder, which made her think everyone was against her. I was sad to hear that, but luckily, she had a loving mom who
I am so sorry.
took her away to rehab for some time. I'm really sorry about your friend Mary. Really, friend Mary. Really. And I have to admit, I was jealous when she came back into your life. I hope she'll be better soon, and maybe we can be friends again someday. But you've got nothing to worry about, Zoe. You are, and always will be, my sister.
Wow. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you soon. Dino Piggy, out.